Thank you so much. My heart bled last night. I listened to Bra Aubrey as he paid tribute to her. Absolutely heartbreaking. Thank you so much for your messages of support. We are discussing the national dialogue, and we're asking, what is your take? I want to vibe that thing. Remember in 2010 when the World Cup was, you're like, Philip, there's no excitement to talk about what the shared vision should be. Craig and Santon, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Mm,
My take on this matter, if I may, simply put, is we all get rallied up to participate in all of these seemingly events that is there to inspire confidence, inspire and motivate people to do better. But at the end of it, the government ends up with inaction. Nothing comes from it. I think we're a society paralyzed by inquiries on top of inquiries. We continuously have to share what we are unhappy about. But what happens at the end of the day? A lot of money gets spent, a lot of engagements
mm.
happen, inquiries happen, but we
To
have
what
nothing to
end?
show for it.
Mm.
To
Thank,
what end?
yeah, Craig. Craig, you're raising a very important question. And it's one that I also asked, even with the former IEC commissioner, is where do we go after that? And, she speaks about the belief of implementation, that they're doing the work. But what you need to remember is if they're raising issues with the people in parliament, nothing will happen outside of parliament. They go back there. If legislation needs to be changed to make things better, as you raise it, it goes back where? To parliament, where we've seen them serve themselves, where the elite looks after themselves across the board and put themselves ahead of everybody else. Thank you so much, Craig, out in Santon for that. I see Mtapokazi Mjambi says, and the National Dialogue comes at a time where there were calls for the ANC to oh, let me do that again. And the National Dialogue comes at a time where there were calls for the ANC renewal, which no one is talking about now. What if this is about the ANC trying to redeem itself? That's coming out on YouTube. You know what? I think that is part of the problem, right? It's about optics. The only party that speaks about the dialogue is the ANC. It doesn't belong to the ANC. I think the foundations have tried really hard to drive home that message that it's about us, not about the ANC. But the problem, again, I say, it goes back to Parliament, to those people. The president actually spoke about this issue on Monday in the closing again, the NC of his address, saying that we must be clear that the national dialogue does not displace the democratic processes mandated by our constitution. Its outcomes cannot supersede the electoral mandates that parties carry into parliament and the executive. And there is where I think South Africans will definitely have a problem. Bonnie in Santon, hi. Bonnie, good morning. Can you hear us?
Hi, good morning. Yes.
Mm,
Sorry.
mm.
How are you?
We are very good. You wanted to chat about the dialogue too?
Yeah, Tshidi, Craig just took the words right out of my
Kilami.
mouth. When do we start implementing? When I mean, if the government cared to really listen, we have these dialogues on a daily on platforms like 702 and the likes. But when exactly are we going to start implementing? Just right now, 2 days ago, or just yesterday, doctors were in KZN were protesting. 700 million could have employed how many of them?
Mm, mm. That's a
We
very
have these talks on a daily for free, local.
for
I mean,
free.
if they
They
get
must just listen to the rest of us, ne?
exactly, when I know so, how long it took for the president to remove Dr. Nobu Kengabay.
Yeah.
Which goes to prove or after spending this 700 million, they still may not listen. And then volela 700 million later, still nothing happened.
All right, Bonnie. Thank you so much. Bonnie is calling us out in Santon. There's no optimism that I'm hearing attached to this. But again, I want to say, I listen to the people's dialogue. South Africans want to talk. South Africans want to find solutions. There are South Africans who want to find one another and chart a way forward. Is the issue the fact that there's government involvement. And then the other question is, when all is said and done, 24 months, you do the talk, you put together a report. How do we action that report outside of the political elite that is in parliament? Kustas, hi.
Yeah, Tshidi, good morning, man. I
Mm.
called Tshidi also to wish condolences to our Nthatheng's family. I saw your tweet last night.
Yes.
That's the one that alerted me to this. And, I was so sad, Tshidi, because I spoke to her in June. That's the last time I was coming from the show as well. So I normally call him brush off when I get the time. But she was an absolutely incredible human being, by far. And obviously, condolences to Bra Ob's show and to Bra Ob's himself and to the 702 family. And that's all I had in mind for today. But taking a bite on the dialogue, Tshidi, I don't know, we are creative in ways of wasting money as in South Africa. It's not that the ANC government does not know what to do. I just think they just don't have the courage to do it. Literally, even them, they probably wonder why they keep on getting elected every year, like winning, whether it's a ward, whether it's a city. I don't think they know, because they are truly reversing all the gains that they get under Thabo Mbeki by faster rate, to a point that by the time they leave office, it will be far, far worse. So, having said that, I have no faith and hope that this thing is going to yield anything, because government has made it clear, like you read now, that look, you know what, we hear what you're going to say, but doesn't take away what parliament is doing, government is. So let's have the talk shop, and then that's all we do in South Africa, isn't it? Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, Kustas. Thank you for the messages around us and Thateng. Let's have a talk shop, he says. And that's become who we are. We take so much pride in being this wonderfully robust and loud democracy, but it doesn't work if we don't work. And that's part of the challenge, right? Is moments like this, for me, present opportunities to get involved. But it's not enough to just talk and just talk and talk. The part of the apprehension, and I'm hearing it and I'm taking it into consideration, is, and then what? Rabulela, and then what? On the WhatsApp line, TD, last year we voted and gave this government a mandate. Granted, it wasn't a full mandate, but they all campaigned on certain manifestos that they now need to implement. That's why this dialogue is redundant. I feel like Ramaphosa conducts himself like we are in a Codesa mode. Then he'll take his time to consult and consult until the last inch of his presidency, and then gaslight us into thinking that it's action. The policies are there, they just need to implement them. Thank you so much for that. Funny enough, it's not this, the dialogue is not his idea. You guys know that. I think the president has actually said as much. The dialogue is from a President Thabo Mbeki's idea. Then you rope in the churches as well. Government, I feel like, was coerced in moving in this direction as well. And I don't know if that makes a difference to you at all. Stembiso in Meadowlands.
Yes, how are you, Tshidi?
I'm very good, thank you. What's on your mind?
I'll keep it short. Regarding the dialogue, I'd like to go the opposite direction in what you just said, that South Africans actually want to talk and come up with solutions. I think as South Africans, we know, everybody knows what needs to be done in order to improve our country. However, our government keeps on failing us with implementing. We have so many beautiful laws and whatnot, but implementation, example, the bylaws. We have so much beautiful bylaws, but they're not being enforced. So I think as South Africans, we now just want to vent. That's why we always agree to these conversations and dialogues.
And what about our responsibilities, those citizens? Because we do a lot of, hey, government, and rightfully so. There are failures that we must place directly at the door of government. But I also find that we also don't play our part.
Unfortunately, what happens is, example, you as a South African, you take the initiative, you want to make your country a clean place. I'm in Soweto, I see somebody selling drugs, I report to the police, only to find out that the police is infested. So what happens? Nothing. Or I become a victim. So we end up doing if you can't beat them, it's either you join them or you just complain from a distance.
All right, Stemi, so thank you. Stemi says out in Maryland. How heartbreaking that even for those who say that they try, for them, it's absolutely pointless to do so. Advocate Mofekiawabona, but before I come to you, let me go to Mudise in Vereeniging. I'm looking for somebody who's slightly more positive about the dialogue. Hi.
Oh yes, how are you? I think the dialogue is going to be successful because everybody is going to be involved. White, colored, Indians, and blacks, not ANC only.
It's not about the
Yes.
parties. It shouldn't be. And I think we're struggling to also divorce that from the dialogue, that it's about South Africans talking. You believe that it's possible and that it could be a success?
It is going to be a success because for the first time, white people are conscious now about political climate in South Africa, even Indians and colours. We want to hear them. And even all political parties. We're talking about mass democratic movements here. We're not talking about ANC. People must be positive. If maybe even journalists are involved, people like you and others.
We must have views,
Yes,
about
who
where
are
we're going.
conscientizing people, even our religious institutions are going to be involved. So people must be positive about it. And if they want ANC to implement, what must they implement? Because they've got less than 40%. They must invite other parties. And
Okay.
it's good if they invite other parties.
Okay,
People must
Modise.
be positive. Thank you.
Thank you, Modise. Modise sounds like an ANC member. So did he say, what do we want to...
Right.
Did he say, what do we want to implement? We have 40%. Okay, Modise. Advocate Morphe Dumela. Advocate Sam Morphe is on now. Good morning, Advocate.
Dumela, how are you?
I'm very good. Long time. It's been very long.
Hey, it's very, very, very long. But I listen to you all the time anyway, I just wanted to call and pass my condolences on the family of Ntadeng, Aubrey told me about her death yesterday. And, it is so painful, I mean, she was one of our best producers, really, and who took her job so seriously. And she has been doing this job for many, many years. And she used to call on some of us, ideas as to which topics to run with. And I was so shocked when they told me that she passed away yesterday. It is so sad. I think we lost one of our greatest brains in the media space, really. And I just want to say, may her soul rest in peace.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's Advocate Sam Morphe, who's South Africa's ambassador to South Sudan over there. I mean, many of us share those sentiments. We've lost someone special. As I said earlier, there's not a single one of us who's toiled well into the night, at midnight oil, who did not know our thing, who never felt her presence. So thank you for all those messages we receive, and we of course pass the condolences and love to her family as well. It is 9:30. Sandile, I'm sorry about that. Sandile and Kakiso. Abel is reprimanding me. I'll take my L's. Hi, Sandile.
Yes, hello, Tshidi. It's Sindile. Yes, thank you.
Oh, Silindile, I apologize.
Yeah, Tshidi, for 30 years, the ANC has been in power. And they come up with one thing. They say, let's have a dialogue. Because it's manufactured by them. It started with Mbeki, as you said before. And they said, let's talk South Africans. South Africans are no longer angry enough. They want to sit down with the ANC and talk. While we, the voters, we are taking it down slowly but surely, piece by piece, to 40%. And now you want to talk. So South Africans are being manipulated by the ANC again, and they're allowing it to manipulate them with the dialogue. We've been talking so long. We know the issues. Right now, Ramaphosa made what you call Clement Manyathela a Minister of Police temporary, while this guy was fingered in the Zondo Commission. What does that tell us? Are we going to talk about that? Is that part of the agenda? Is Mkhulu part of the agenda? It's all those who are implicated in Zondo Commission who are appointed by Ramaphosa. Part of the agenda of the dialogue. Are we going to talk about that? To tell Ramaphosa exactly what he knows, what we know. Ramaphosa knows more than we do. And then we want to sit down and talk. Who's going to talk? People of South Africa will be complaining, coming to the radio after this dialogue, complaining that it was not fair, it didn't come to us, it didn't reach this and that. They will be complaining again, but they forget that they've allowed it to happen. We can't allow it to happen. People know what needs to be done in this country. Simple as that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's Cindy in Kagiso. Thank you so much. I'm going to play a couple of your voice notes on this topic as well.
Good morning, our sister. The problem that I have with the national dialogue is the money involved. That money could be used for a lot of things. Or it could actually fill up most of the portals here in the Val where I stay, and maybe help out with the sewer lines that are broken all over. You've got a sewer line that is broken, there's sewer all over. Even at Didier police station, there's a sewer is just running in front of the police station. Thank you.
Good morning, Tshidi Madia. Subs here. Look, Tshidi, when it comes to this national dialogue, it's truly a joke. South Africans have spoken in the last elections. The ANC seems to be ignoring them and thinking that they can still bulldoze their way through talking and acting like they're still in power. Well, one message, South Africans will talk again in the next election. Just watch.
Yes, good morning, Tshidi. You're speaking to Joy here. I don't know what the point of the dialogue is. One question that I've got is the government going to implement whatever is being discussed at the dialogue, or is it going to look at the issues? Because there's one issue that I feel that a lot of South Africans have been feeling strong about. It is the question of the immigrants. Let us say, suppose people do raise the question, is the government going to act on those suggestions? Let us say, for instance, people say the immigrants must go. What will the government do? So if they're not going to implement the resolutions of the dialogue, then what is the point of the dialogue? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. There seems to be suggestions of a willingness. Willingness. Note those words. That if there are conversations and resolutions that feel urgent in the dialogue, that there'll be attempts to address them, but I'm not convinced. My greatest crisis with the dialogue is I'm not convinced of what the pathway forward will be, because the issues, as I said earlier, go back to the very political elite that everyone's complaining about. You're asking those people to deal with themselves. Part of the issue with the Zondo Commission report, it says the poison comes from parliament. It's the political system that's problematic. So this will be seeking to undo that as well, in essence. It'll ask us what we want, right? With an idea of fixing what's gone wrong. The well is poisoned, but the rot, without question, comes from the political landscape, comes from the political space. That's what many people in this country will say. So we have the engagements, then it goes back where? To rectify what's gone wrong. And I think that's where I'm not convinced about the way forward. Here are Litlokonolo in Midrand. Hi, good morning to you.
Miss Madia.
Hey.
A long time, Miss Madia.
Okay.
Miss Madia, listen here. What is it that the ANC want us to tell them in this dialogue? What do they want to find out?
Why is it about the ANC, Litlokonolo, quickly? Because it's about you and me. Foundations are involved.
Let's say the
government.
government.
Foundation is there.
Let's say government. What is it that government want us to tell them? What do they want to find out from this dialogue that they don't know? Because they know everything. They know everything that's happening. They know how South Africa. Because let's make an example, Ms. Madia. On the 27th of April, each and every year, it's a Freedom Day. Government does a function, Freedom Day functions, and who are the majority? Not even the majority. Who are the people that attend those functions? According to you, I've seen you at this celebration, Ms. Madia. Who are the people? Who are the people? Who are the people that attend this function? It's us, the black people.
Yes.
It's us. It's the black people. For 30 years, I was at the last one here in what's this place here before Klerksdorp?
I'm not sure. Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
I'm saying to you, it is us that attend this function. It shows you.
It's not everybody who's pulling in one direction. Yeah.
Yeah, it really shows you that it's not everybody who's pulling in one direction. So when are we going to keep on begging and begging and begging our fellow white counterparts to be part of us? What government is supposed to do now? Because it is clear that our white fellow counterparts are not prepared to be a part of South Africa in certain things. There's only certain things that they want to be part of South Africa. Okay, when it comes to, they say, in fighting crime and not wanting someone in certain positions. Okay.
They care about what makes them comfortable and not the overall picture. Is that what you're
let me tell you what the government is supposed to do in the ANC. The ANC is supposed to go each and every location, each and every suburb. Instead of doing this thing, you're never yet. They're supposed to send people in government, head of the departments and ministers into communities to find out what are the problems that the communities are facing. Do you think people from Lihuru or people from Marble Hall are going to be at that thing that's starting next week? They're not going to be there. They are not going to be there because they wouldn't even have the money to get there. So you take the people, you take your people, heads of the department, the ministers, you send them into the communities. You will find out, after that you compile all those things, you will find out all these people, they are crying about one thing. And you fix that. Miss Madia.
So you are saying it's an elitist exercise, that in and of itself, it's classist. That's the first point that I think you're making, one of the points you're making. The other interesting one for me is your point about white people. I agree with you. They don't turn up for events, national events. We don't see white people on the ground at those stadiums. I agree. Are you also saying that even this opportunity given to them to talk about the way forward for you is one they will not bother with?
They've got no interest, Miss Madia. They've got no interest. They are just like they are actually, there is a certain black class that is becoming like them, the ones in the suburbs. Okay, they are becoming like white people. They are not interested. Those are the other ones that you wouldn't even see in those gatherings. Okay, unless they've got something there, unless they're going to benefit something there. Even if we do these things, we still wouldn't see white people into those events, those kind of events. The only way that we'll meet them is at the Rugby World Cup.
Okay,
thank you. Match. That's
okay, I'm seeing a lot of white people actually responding to you, so I'll go through some of those responses. Thank you so much, Letlanola out in Midrand. Have a good Friday, Letlanola.
You too, Miss Madia.
Miss Madia, yes. I want to play more of your voice notes. I am seeing a lot of your interaction. You know, there's an interesting thing that Professor Somato Tafikeni always says to me, and that's the race issue in this country. He always says to me, we are people who do not agree on what the past of this country was. We don't agree on how we're experiencing the country today, nor do we agree on what the way forward is. And that's the challenge. Again, I want to go back to the People's Dialogue this station held, where people of different colors said, we do need to close the social gap. We do need to find one another. We do need to understand each other's context a little bit better to move forward. That's part of the problem. I'm going to play some of your voice notes now.
Hanging out with Clement
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.